coming at you.
What were you saying?
Oh, I didn't think it. You unmuted me as soon as I said it. I said, "Welcome to the show."
Oh, okay. Oh.
No, I said I need a new chair.
Oh, yeah. You're just a little squeaky.
Well, it's not as squeaky as it's old, so like the
Yeah.
cushions wore out. But I actually got a new chair, like an outdoor chair. But I might bring it in and actually start using it. It's my new favorite chair.
I was saying we don't need to invest in chairs yet.
No. If we had a chair sponsor, this is the one I would want.
Okay, I got
It's that XL rocker.
Shout out. All right.
From Academy.
Okay.
It's like $80, but it's the one that has like the actual shocks on the back of it, and it's incredible.
Okay.
So
Well, bring it over here and we'll check it out.
I'll let you check it out.
All right.
It's neat.
I stopped wheeling in that good one that I have in the back room because it's like, why? It's annoying. So I just sit in the shitty thing.
Okay.
But maybe we should switch to, because I talked about it, we should switch to a, not lazy boys,
go ahead.
Chair, kind of like a lounge situation instead of sitting at a table. I kind of need to have a table for all this fucking crap.
Well,
if we simplify this,
we'll be minimalist.
right? If we simplify this thing, like just do it off of a tablet or whatever, then we could go to that. Be a lot more relaxing kind of atmosphere.
Yeah.
I don't know. And also, I wouldn't have one room in the house that looks like a studio. It would just look like a lounge room with boom mics. So like
That'd be cool.
Actually, probably
It's your OnlyFans room.
yeah, it looks like I'm shooting porn.
That's what it is. This is where I do my shoots.
Right. Exactly.
Oh, okay.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I sell professional feet pics. Get the fuck out of here.
Like, are you an artist? Like, I am
Yeah,
actually an artist. Thank you.
Yes, only pictures of my anus.
And you can just get little small pictures they can take with them, like wallet pictures.
Right, exactly.
Like, here, take these. It's buy one, get one.
Larry is my editor.
Yeah, we'll call it All Ball Studio.
All ball studio.
Where you just take ball pictures. And then you can dress them up. Like for fall, you can do like a pumpkin next to them and like some leaves.
When I was looking up names for this podcast, All Balls was one of them. I was like, I love the we say that, All Balls. Mm-hmm. But of course, I look it up and like it's like some sports thing.
What would be
like,
hilarious though is you do that, then you'd fall in line with all those real popular sports ones. People are like, cool, man. Like, when they get in there and they're like, these dudes are talking about taking pictures of their balls. Like, yeah, sorry. Right, you listened. Thanks for the view.
Thanks for the view. Exactly. Yeah. Sucker.
Could really segue our way into there.
Right. Well, maybe we should do that. We could rename the pod and just piggyback on something else. And
that's so people really popular.
That think that they're going to be getting some, well-informed opinions on baseball.
And what we could do is we'll just give false facts.
Right. Yeah, we could start off like the first episode.
Yeah,
we could start so that way they stay in and they're like, "Oh, okay, this is a baseball podcast. Let's listen in." And so we start off that way, but then it's soon like any baseball fans like, "Wait, hold on a second."
What you do is you'll have like a big popular game up. Be like, "All right, he's going to slide in. Oh, these are the first base. Ooh, into a touchdown on second. Right. Like, what the fuck? What?
Yeah, exactly.
Shit like that.
Right.
Just to piss people
He's
off.
stroking the bat. What is happening?
What's happening? Is that wooden?
Right. Yeah, the guys in the bullpen are having a pillow fight, just shit like that.
Absolutely.
Right, and then we segue, and then we've got them hooked, and then we can just segue into like talking whatever we want to talk about. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Like we maybe shouldn't shy away. Like Cumtown is no more apparently. That's
I didn't know that.
I think that they are no longer. It's no longer Cumtown. It's the Adam Friedland show or whatever, which is one of the dudes that's on.
So
there.
it's not good anymore.
And it's like the same thing. They just like, I guess we're tired of being Cumtown.
Yeah, because it's CUMM. Like it's super weird.
I don't know, but I noticed that the other day because I follow them, and then all of a sudden now it says like Adam Friedland show, and I'm like, the fuck? I don't follow this, and because it's actually Cumtown. It's the same episodes or whatever.
Okay.
So, which also tells me we can just rename and I'll have all the same episodes. We don't have to like start over or whatever.
Yeah.
If we wanted to rename it, just fucking do it. Who gives a shit?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And his logo is actually like basic as fuck. It's just his name on a black screen.
I like it.
Yeah, so we could do some stuff like that. So if anybody got any suggestions, because as listeners, you probably like have a better idea of like what we are.
I can't get them to give me ideas for episodes. I know they're listening.
So
so
they're definitely not going to.
Unless I post like, where do you think I should get breakfast for the show? Then I'll get people to say something.
You know what? You know that that it's people like us is our demographic because we would do the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I generally in social media, I don't participate. I just observe.
Well, I used to participate, and then when I wouldn't get a response or a heart next to it, I'd be like, "Fuck you!"
Exactly.
Like it's the last time I do this, and then like the next week I'll be on that same post.
So why would we expect any different from our audience?
Like,
of course,
we're telling people to get off social media, and it's like. You need to fucking comment on my social media.
Right, exactly. So let's talk about that real quick because I was never like cold turkey like you were. Like you deleted the apps entirely.
Yeah.
I just deleted them on my home screen because people still message me. It's a lot of times it's the primary method of communication.
Sure.
So I just left them on there. Well, I would notice that's to really get. I've been better. Like I'm not scrolling as much in the morning or at night or just whenever I have free time. I'm off it only when people send me stuff. But sometimes I'll still catch where some people will send me something and then I'll just be like, I'll check it out. And then all of a sudden, I'll go back to go out and then back on the home screen. And then I'll scroll for a minute. I'm like, hey, what the fuck? What am I doing? I'm trying not to do this. And I'll get out. Yeah. So it's been better, but not perfect. And but I never really went cold turkey in the first place. Like I was still in there.
Yeah, so last episode I talked about going cold turkey, and I did. I didn't last a month, by the way.
So last week's episode was a lie.
So I did a week. But I was sitting there not bored needing it, but I was like fuck, I was like, I miss messages from like the guy. Like it's the only way we really communicate with the boys. So I said, I need to, because I'm not against social media. I'm not against Instagram, but I was like, I need to go into it. Let's be an adult about it. Right. So I re-downloaded it and I got on there, just checked message. I had a couple messages and stuff, and I was like, okay. And then I just closed it up. So I checked my messages, and I had one. I was like, hey, sorry, I missed. I was off here for a week and whatever, and that's it. And then I checked up on the boys' chat we have. I looked there and just it's silly stuff, and
I'm gonna say there's some stuff that's happened you kind of missed.
And Kylie sent me stuff, so and then I started just kind of scrolling, and I was like, I'm kind of bored because I haven't had it. Mm-hmm. Even I know weeks doesn't sound like a lot, but for me it was. So I just got back off of it. So now it's just like if I see something there, and then I even looked at stuff that normally would upset me, and I was just like, cool. Like I'm trying to just not be an idiot about it. Like don't be a child. So
not just stew in it.
Don't just stew in it because I'm like, that's who cares? Right. And so I think now I'm just like, it's there, and of course if you're. I'm gonna be like, if I want to check it, like check messages, like cool, and then just get off because it's just, I think, and I follow so many fucking pages that I cannot manage. Like I'm embarrassed how many things I follow. So like,
I have to go through and purge.
I don't want to share the number. That's how bad it is. So I'm like, I can't keep up with that many people, obviously. So it's cool. And then of course for our, for this, like I don't want to not post if I see something stupid or silly, like I want to put it on our page. So I'm back on it. So
I like it. I like whenever you're talking about following stupid shit like all the time, like you're embarrassed about it, you don't want to tell people.
Well, not the pages per se, but how like you go to your following, like it's like I have this many followers, and it's like fuck, man.
Like sometimes like I'll follow like thoughts on Instagram, right?
Sure.
Like
can you tell everybody what that is in the audience?
That hoe over there.
Thank you.
Insta thoughts, right?
I just wanted to
whatever, borderline fucking OnlyFans chicks, borderline sex workers, whatever. Mm-hmm. They just shake their ass on Instagram and they get millions of views.
I've started.
They have zero talent except for that.
It's just your shame. It's just your level of shame.
Well, some of them like I'll follow or I'll come across and I'm like, oh, she's hot. I'm gonna follow her.
Right.
And you'll see like followed by, and it'll be like somebody that like one of your buddies, and you're like, oh, fellow traveler.
Yeah.
And then you're like, well, if he's following it,
then I'm okay.
Then I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna follow it too.
I've done that. I've seen like I'm like, oh, it's the Sinan family. I get in there too. Like,
right,
yeah, man,
exactly.
cool.
Or you see like, I wouldn't figured he would be into this page. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Then like you have to be careful to tread lightly too, because sometimes if you like too many of them, people are like you really like their stuff a lot. I'm like,
right. Well, the reverse is true. It's like if you follow a page that nobody else is following that you see, and then they come across it, they're going to be like, he's following this page? What a freak.
Right. There was a hilarious one back in the day. It was like reasons to masturbate. That was a big one. I was like, I should probably never follow this.
I don't really need many reasons.
Right. I need like one.
I don't need the page to tell me.
No.
Yeah. So Instagram, social media thing as a whole, it's weird. It's in moderation. I think that's
it's I
gotta moderate. And I just was on a fucking like binge, and I just had to pull away for a little bit, be like, all right. So it's better. I did delete. Well, I deleted Twitter because I don't even fucking use Twitter.
Nah.
But then people would send me stuff
on Twitter,
and then some stuff that they would send me, it's like behind. It's like
all those thoughts on Twitter whatever can show more.
Well, it's like behind, or maybe not even that. It could be just something violent or whatever, and it's like protected. And so I was like, I can't see it on. I have to actually have an account to unlock and allow it. And then I was like, fuck. So I downloaded Twitter again, and but I just because of that reason. But I don't even think I follow anybody on it or I purge it all. But I'd never fucking use Twitter. Literally the only reason I have Twitter is because people send me stuff. Which is, I wish we could have like just a central talk to all my buddies and be like, listen, can we just do Instagram and nothing else? Like fuck Facebook, fuck Twitter, fuck all the rest of it. Let's just pick one and stick to it.
Well, it's funny to say that. Dad and I were talking on our way back from riding today, and we're talking about phones and just work in general. And he was like, what? He said, what would happen if everybody just went back to a flip phone? He's like, oh, we'd have to actually talk to people. Darn. He's like, he said, I don't know why we have all this anyway. He said 20 years ago, everything was still fine in the workforce. I don't know why everything had to be done on these high-tech phones now where everything is so impersonal. And
I'm just
talking about in general, like, because I was, the other day, I'm on my phone for work, my iPhone. It's all this stuff, does all this shit. And I'm like, they're upgrading phones for this new feature and this new cellular. I'm like, fuck, can I just have a flip phone? Just call me if you need me. Mm-hmm. I just don't want to. I don't want to have all this anymore.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's I hated having two phones for work when I did that before. And I was
but I mean, if you really just if you were like, you know what, we're not doing smartphones anymore. Here's you go.
That's never
people would have to be like, they'd have to talk. I mean, I saw a family the other day at a restaurant where it was a family of 5. And everybody was on their phone.
Well, yeah, I mean that's I would say that, but in a work capacity, they're almost necessary at this point.
I don't think it is.
I mean, you look at like the job that we're in. I mean, like they have to have at least some sort of mobile electronic device.
We used to have Nextels.
Well, yeah, that's just to communicate. But now the cell phone is not just a mode of communication between two people anymore.
No, I know.
It's also has tools for using at work.
A pain in the ass.
So because they have that where they get their jobs and it's a map and it's a whole it's everything.
It sucks,
right?
Yeah.
So it doesn't suck. I don't know why you're so anti technology these days.
I just think it'd be cool just to just for because I've just
you can do that.
The last few weeks I have just I just pick up on things.
Well, you could do that if you want to. If you want to forego modern communication and just talk to people, would you call me on the phone anyway?
Like I saw. I saw I have friends that will post pictures or they'll send when I had Snapchat and it'll be like with a group people you haven't seen in a while and they're like, oh, shout out to these people, whatever, and then I look over and one dude is on his phone while he's with his friends, balls deep in the phone. I'm like,
yeah, obviously that's a problem, but I guess my point is.
I don't really have a point to that story to be honest with you. I'm going nowhere.
Yeah, and I get what you're saying.
I'm just
it's not good, but. I would say, just to wrap this up, would be that the going to where everybody just like your dad's point, where you just get rid of the smartphone, just go flip phone, everybody just has to talk to each other. That's the other extreme.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. Well, I brought up the flip phone thing. He just mentioned
whatever.
20 years ago everything was fine. I was like, I know, but things are. We all live in a world now where exactly. Everything's so high speed and right in front of you. Right, so, but yeah, I don't have a point to me. The guy in the picture, I just don't know why the fuck I said that. I was like, fuck that dude.
Right. I get you. I've caught myself doing that, but I'm sitting in front of some people where let me just put this down. You know what I mean? Don't pull my phone out. But if I pull my phone out, it's probably because you're boring. So.
Right. We shouldn't even be in the same room together.
Right, exactly. You should just end this interaction.
Right.
Right. Because now I'm playing Tetris. So be not boring. How about that?
Be a better human being.
Right. Exactly. Be more interesting. Be more interesting than Tetris. And then I won't be on my phone.
Right.
So one of the things I was going to, as you were talking about, going through the boys chat and seeing what you missed or whatever, there was one thing I think your brother posted. And I was, as we're kind of talking about what's the next 20 years going to look like.
Yeah,
20 years ago we knew what it looked like. What's it going to look like 20 years from now? Have you heard of this new thing where people are making money, an obscene amount of money? It's we've already talked about OnlyFans where feet pics and you do weird shit or whatever.
I thought it was sitting on stuff for money.
And you make money.
Yeah.
People find all sorts of weird ways. If you have no shame and internet connection, you make a lot of money.
That's true.
Right? Well, here's a new one. and this one's just even crazier. So it's stripping in the metaverse. Okay? So it was,
okay.
I think your brother posted this video, and so I went kind of into it a little bit, right? Because I was like, what is this? So the video that was posted was talking about how this person made $1 million in 12 months stripping in the metaverse. And I'm like, fuck.
That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of ones. A lot of digital. That's a lot of Bitcoin. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Whatever the Ethereum, whatever they're using in the metaverse to rain on strippers.
I don't know what you call their currency in the metaverse.
Whatever. I guess it's any kind of digital currency or any fiat currency that you buy tokens.
Meta ones.
You buy some. Yeah, right. You buy some strip tokens or whatever.
Okay. Cool.
With real money, and then I guess you tip the stripper, right? Which is not much different than they have like those. It's not like kind of like OnlyFans, or it's like any of those like chat rooms where you like chicks on the chat room and you tip them or whatever. So I imagine it's a similar
she like pulls her titty out. Is that how that works?
Yeah, I guess so.
Oh,
like
okay.
you like shake your ass. Here's a $1 or whatever,
Oh,
and
okay.
it's a $1 like token or whatever the fuck.
Okay, gotcha.
Something like that. So I imagine it's something similar. So I didn't go into the. I'm not in a metaverse ecosystem, so I didn't know how to like go check this out for myself. So, but I watched the videos about it. It's not what you think it is. So, it's the metaverse, right? So it's not a real person,
right?
That's stripping. So it's an avatar that is stripping, and of course, what is the fucking avatar? It's a goddamn half chick fox looking thing,
right?
Right? It's an anime
it's a furry
character,
type thing,
furry type shit that's stripping. Right? And guess who in this video is actually doing the animations for this fox thing or whatever that's got titties? Mm-hmm. It's a dude. Of course it's a dude. Of course it's a dude.
Yeah, dudes helping dudes.
It's a dude. He puts on his VR headset and he's got his handle, his controllers and everything like that. And he walks into a room that's all green screen, the all four walls and the floor and the ceiling. I guess I don't know the ceiling, but I could see the ceiling. But so he walks in this green screen. That way they can. I guess I don't know why he needed to be in this green screen. I think it was like you can, when you're in the metaverse, they can see your character, but you can also kind of film your character and it will superimpose what's happening on the inside.
So it's probably really awkward.
An augmented VR type thing. I don't know. It's weird. So I guess that's the reason why he needed a green screen. But anyway, so imagine if like I was like, this dude's a fucking genius, and he just walks into this room and he's just wearing socks and fucking athletic gear, and he just wearing basketball shorts and a fucking t-shirt. He probably just woke up, puts on his VR headset, and then just wiggles his ass a little bit. But in the metaverse, he's this fox thing with tits, and people pay him money. And I'm like, it blew my mind. I'm like, how have we gotten here? It's so easy.
I don't know.
That dude didn't even have to have himself on camera. All he has to do is like do the motions of a stripper.
Yeah, but I don't.
Which I would know how to do because I've been to plenty of them. You know what I'm saying? I could easily do that. I could easily be a stripper in the metaverse.
I just
wouldn't tell nobody.
This is all we've talked about it before. This is all.
I'll just show up with a fucking brand new like supercar. Yeah. And be like, where'd you get that money?
I
found it.
This all circles around not working an 8 to 5. Mm-hmm. This is avoiding real life.
100%.
Not being an 8 to 5.
But like this is the new thing. I'm trying to imagine like.
Is that why there's so many fucking people out in the middle of the day because everyone's meta stripping?
I guess so. It's like and think about it, this is one dude made $1 million in 12 months. And the metaverse as it is now is kind of a new thing. Like it was getting there. Everybody's trying to get to like Ready Player One status, right? They're trying to build this like super interactive world where you can just like live in. It's going to take forever. I don't know. Maybe we have a technology jump that something will be innovated that can like accelerate this process. I don't know. That's usually how technology works. So something gets invented and it accelerates everything else.
Yeah.
So that's probably what will happen. But it's already started. The fact that this one dude made $1 million in 1 year, metaverse stripping, I just can't get over it.
It makes me feel like shit that as much as I work and stuff, I'm like, right. I don't.
Like actual strippers don't make that much money. Like even the hottest stripper alive doesn't make that much money just stripping.
No.
$1 million? I doubt it.
No.
I doubt it. There's not enough ones in the world.
Not enough ones.
There's not enough ones.
Like
you don't have enough time.
Yeah.
There's not enough time in the day to be able to get that. But if you can have, because only these strip club rooms are only so big. But if you can have like a strip meta room that has like 1,000 people in it, all giving you, say minimum $10 in tips of it.
They're probably the creepiest people too, dude.
Yeah, dude. That's $10,000. Boom, right there, one day. Pow. And the thing is that you weren't even like it wasn't even like a real live like naked woman. It was it wasn't even good. It was like terrible resolution. It was like some blocky looking fucking half naked fox thing.
I'll
like
have to find that video later.
Fuck? It was crazy. $1 million. It
makes you feel insignificant.
It pisses me off. It pisses me off.
If you start stripping on the metaverse, I'm gonna be really excited for you.
That money is kind of hard. I'm like, I have a VR headset. I don't have the green screen room, but I could make this room into that. I could put on a VR headset, figure out how the metaverse thing works. I guess get somebody to design like a fucking furry
Pikachu thing.
Pikachu with a pussy or whatever the fuck, I don't know. And the only embarrassing part about it, the whole thing, is me doing it.
And then me knowing you're doing that, I will definitely have to walk in and catch you doing it.
Like rolling around on the floor, like kicking my legs up and everything, shaking my ass.
Or you like pull a hammy.
And then and then in the screen, it's like, you said, it's like Pikachu.
Yeah. Pikachu in a skirt.
Pikachu in a thong. And you're like, oh my God.
Then I'd be like, he's doing it, man.
But then when I roll up in like
$10,000 a month,
fucking Ferrari, you'd be like,
I get it.
I get it.
Shake it, Pikachu.
Exactly. Get in there. Show him some new moves. Give him a Thunderbolt.
Show him that tackle.
You know what I'm saying?
Cool. Well, I didn't know that. I'll have to look for that video.
Yeah, so the thing is like, now, anytime there's something that new comes along and someone has made money with it, especially a huge amount of money, it's over. You can't go back. Like no. It is now going to be a thing to where I guarantee you it will be as prolific as OnlyFans models. It will be metaverse strippers. It's getting there. Because how many fucking weebs are out there, fucking dorks are out there that would want to see their favorite, anime character or whatever, get naked and do a strip dance on them. And if the only way they could have that experience is in the metaverse, because you can't have that in real life because it's fictional, right? Then it would be in the metaverse, right? And so that was the one thing about Ready Player One that I was like, nah, it wouldn't be like that. They didn't show it. I guarantee it was part of that. If anybody's seen that movie, it's about virtual reality, right?
Yeah.
Where you kind of go into this world, very Matrix-like.
Badass.
Right? It was very Disney. You know what I'm saying? I was like, nah. The majority of people would be in the fucking fuck planet or wherever the fuck it is, where everybody's naked and fucking. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's where. Because like 80% of the internet is like porn. So
right.
if you had a metaverse, 80% of the metaverse is going to be porn.
Right.
It's just the way it's.
Am I upset about it?
Right.
Kinda.
Exactly. So it's the way it's going to go. The metaverse is going to be a disgusting place.
Yeah, it will be.
And Zuckerberg keeps trying to push it.
Verse.
Right. Zuckerberg keeps trying to like push this thing, and every time he talks about it, it's like him with his little avatar, and they're having like a business meeting, and they're playing like pong or they're hacky sacking in the metaverse or whatever. Fuck. I was like, it's not going to be like that.
Somebody's going to be in that corner jerking off, playing hacky sack.
Right? It's not going to be like that, dude.
No, it's not.
Give it.
They look like the characters from the what was the Wii? Like,
yes, right.
Like no one's going to play
exactly. This. Oh, he's playing pong. No, he's stroking it.
Yeah, he's ponging himself. Right, this ain't happening. Oh yeah. He's
gonna wake up one day after he's created this monster and be like, "What have I done?
What have I done?
What have I done?" Birth rates will go through the fucking floor. Like everybody will just be. It'll be like that movie Surrogates, where they're just in pods.
Yeah. And they're all gross.
And they don't bathe.
Like that one massive fat dude plays like that hot ass chick. You're like,
that's already happened.
Totally accurate.
That's literally what just happened.
Yeah. He's eating Cheetos.
That was a movie that was 10 years old?
Yeah. Bruce Willis.
It is now a thing. That movie came true.
Yeah.
It's just not as advanced. We're just not as, and we'll get there.
We're not there yet.
We'll get there.
Might be tomorrow.
Could be. We'll 100% get there. So they're also, if you, like I said, you have internet connection and no shame, there's money to be had on the internet. But they're taking the shame out of it.
Yeah.
They're starting to take the shame out of it a little bit more and more.
Now they shame you if you don't do
right, exactly.
stuff like that.
Oh, yeah. The whole fucking, you talking about like the whole, sex work is real work. That whole fucking crowd. And you're like, sure, I guess. But
they're right next to feminists.
It's not.
That's how much I don't listen.
It's not the same as, a fucking doctor. Like, let's just be real.
Yeah, it's not. You're not changing the world. You're making people feel good.
Yeah, sure.
That's important, but.
Yeah, I mean, people, with have some semblance of shame don't get into.
So I'm saying, like, he's doing open heart surgery and you're blowing somebody. Like,
right? Yeah, come on, get real. Well, now they're defining like sex work. I mean, honestly, what would you call those Instagram models? I mean, that's sex work, and kinda. It's not like they're not having sex on camera, but I wouldn't be looking. I wouldn't be on them if they weren't attractive. You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, would you? Let me ask you this: would you? I mean, you wouldn't follow half of those women if they wore blue jeans and long sleeve T-shirts tucked in.
No,
you're like, this is boring.
Right. That's what some of them I do, but yeah.
I just meant in general. Like if you followed one that was purely
that's my point.
Body, and then it's like I'm gonna try something different. I'm gonna be in this hoodie and sweatpants
like,
all the time.
Unfollow.
I'm like, this is fucking lame.
Right. What is this, a Wrangler
Because then you
commercial?
find out they're actually a really boring person. So
right. Well, that's the reason I told you. Like I usually I'll start off like here. I'll let you delve into my social media mind real quick. I might be embarrassing myself here.
I like this. Go
whatever.
ahead.
Who gives a fuck?
We'll find out what a piece of shit you are.
Usually, yeah, right. Usually somebody sends me something, or I come across it, and I'm like, oh fuck, she's hot. Follow, and usually have to follow to be able to see everything else. Right. They usually got it private or whatever. But now they make it easy. They've got this. Just let everybody know how it works out there. Okay, I don't have a problem. I'm just saying. Is you come across these thoughts, people send me stuff, or it's just part of the algorithm, and they want you to see this shit. So you come across it, and I was like, oh, she's hot. Let me check more of her shit, right? And of course, it's like block page or whatever, because the Instagram is really just a segue to the OnlyFans account. That's what they want. That's where they want you to go.
Their link tree.
The link tree. So you just click the link tree. If they've got a Twitter, you just check the Twitter real quick. Like, oh yeah, fuck, she's hot as balls. Follow, and then you can follow her on Instagram, right? But half the time, if I'll check the account, it's like, oh, it's got 5 posts. Well, it's literally just a segue to the OnlyFans. I'm not into it. Bye, gone.
Yes.
Right? Or I'll follow, check her 12 photos that she's got, get my fill, and then
all 12.
And then unfollow, and then I'm done.
Check all 12.
Right. So that's how that works. So the ones that stay, the ones that are part of my roster, if you will, are the ones that actually have like something else to say besides, or actually anything to say. They're not just standing there shaking their ass or whatever. They're doing something else. Like, that's interesting.
The internet, their Instagram, for example, is full of beautiful women. Mm-hmm. It is just dumped in there.
Oh yeah,
it's insane.
Can you imagine? I can't imagine what the younger generation is what it would be like, because I can't imagine having this much access to like the most attractive people on the fucking planet in the palm of my hand when I was 12, 13 years old. That just blows my mind.
Well,
like, how do the kids that age now handle that shit?
They dress skimpier and look fucking crazy. You
like,
can't tell how old they are
even from
anymore.
like just a male's perspective. Like,
yeah.
How are you not like? How is your brain not fried? You know what I'm saying?
How do you find a normal girl if you have all that and you compare it? You're like, none of you are hot enough. Like,
right. That probably is a problem. That probably is legit a problem.
You got to figure, like, if you in that same little thing, like, you think about when you were in high school, like chasing girls, like, dude, everybody wore t-shirts and jeans.
Yeah, I know.
There was no, like, the only time you even got any kind of skimpy, whatever you call it, is like when you went on summer vacation. You and your buddies would jump on Facebook and be like, who posted bathing suit shots?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
That's the only time you ever saw anything.
Yeah.
Because no one dressed like that. Yeah. Like, it was always like.
And if anybody did in high school, like, they're probably like pregnant. Like,
well, that or like a stuck up bitch.
Or
like,
right. But it wasn't commonplace.
Most of the time it was just like t-shirts and jeans, dude. It was cool. Like, I don't know what the fuck happened.
There was a couple. Yeah, nobody really was. I don't know. There was some.
I don't know. The ones I ran around with. The ones I ran around with did not.
Well, my girlfriend in high school, actually, she dressed up a lot. She wore.
Yeah, but y'all were thespians, so
yeah, we were kind of weird, I suppose. Yeah, we were a little outside of the main, I suppose. That's true. But I don't know. I don't know how kids. Definitely, I can understand how the girls. If all the guys are looking at these girls on the internet, then how the fuck do they?
I don't like anybody under 25.
But just from I know they're all stupid.
Except for my kid.
I agree. They're all idiots, including. No, I'm just kidding.
Including. Go ahead and say it. You fuck.
I mean, let's be real. She says some dumb shit sometimes.
Well, yeah, she's 6.
She's
Kids are dumb.
Kids are dumb.
Like, yeah, they're dumb.
I know. I know that's the reason why it baffles me the stuff that people say that kids are allowed to do. Like that's probably one of the reasons why we're like the social media aspect and all this stuff you can see on the internet, and kids younger and younger and younger have access to it now. Mm-hmm. Like kids know how to operate these electronics a lot, instantly. It's like almost innate when they're toddlers, and so and parents are fooling themselves if they think they can put these blocks and parental goals and shit. Like, oh, they can have a Facebook, but I've got it all protected. Like, you don't have it protected.
Well, I like how you said that because...
Like, if they have an internet connection and they have the will to see whatever they want to see, they will see it.
We were in gymnastics today, in Harper's class, and her little group, whatever, was going, and then this girl was in her class. I don't know her fucking name, doesn't matter, but she was coming down. She was like, Naruto, like doing a little weird run. And I looked, I was like, that's how the guys were going to storm Area 51.
Yeah.
She looked dumb. But anyway, well, then she gets up, and I'm just like watching, Harper's doing her thing, and this little girl looks over, and she's like, he's on X Games mode. I looked at Kyle and said, she's on the fucking internet.
Yep.
Already. You don't, like, dude.
Right. Where did that phrase come from? It didn't come from you.
What happened?
It didn't come from her. It came from the internet somewhere.
Like, I don't get me wrong, like, Harper's got a tablet. We allow her like an hour a night. She does YouTube Kids, and I watch what she watches.
You have to watch.
Make sure.
Yeah, you have to watch. That's what I'm saying.
And she watches, I don't know, I think they're a Mormon family, but she watches this family that does like these home summer camps. She like watches kids do other stuff.
Yeah,
That's what she likes to do. But no, if I come across, she's watching something fucking weird, turn it off. Yeah. Change the video. No.
And that's my thing. It's like if parents think that like, I have it all protected, and they just let their kids go into their room and do their thing. You're like,
no, I have it to where
you better
what's great is YouTube Kids is once they're in it, you can't get out of the app.
Right.
They can't, and it won't navigate, and I can set a timer on it.
Right.
So, but yeah, does she have a tablet? Absolutely. But like, it's monitored on the weekends because that's how I do my house.
Right.
But she will not. I have the whole young cell phone thing, internet access. Like, she won't have a cell phone.
Yeah, see, that's really the only, that's what I'm saying. That's the only what, like when I see like a 10-year-old with a fucking smartphone, and I know that it's I see him scrolling on Facebook. I'm like, what are you fucking doing?
No, sorry.
And not just like the pornographic aspect of the internet, or the stuff that they can see that the innocent kids shouldn't see, but it's just the being on social media is not good for a growing mind. Period. I don't think. Mm-mm. Like, you should be a kid. Fucking,
it's not good for my old mind.
It's not good for us, right? So I don't know why, right? But we do, as an adults, we do lots of things that are not good for us.
Plus, like our last episode, I really cracked up in that section where you were like, I'm more this, and you're like, I'm more. What'd you say?
It's like we both have bundles of energy.
Yeah,
we both get it out right here on the podcast.
Yeah, and I like.
But yours is all physical, and mine's intellectual.
And I said, so I'm like kind of retarded. I'm like, you're just really smart.
Right. It was kind of like, you see that when Joe Rogan had Alex Jones on, and the one thing that came out of that whole interview is like, all right, Joe, listen, I'm kind of retarded.
Dude,
it was so funny.
It was great.
It was so funny.
Speaking of kind of retarded, you mentioned before we started the show about looking
Can't
20
say the
years.
R word.
Looking for 20 years from now, you're talking about. I didn't realize this until you told me about the vaccine situation. Because so to segue into it, like, so COVID's still kind of like lingering. Like, people are the weird folks that the masked people.
You mean the cultists?
The cultists, the masked people
are
still. There's a few of you sprinkled out there.
Well, since one thing, since haven't been on social media a whole bunch, and I'm like, from I'll be honest, like, I'm sitting there on the toilet and I'm taking shit. Like, I gotta look at something.
I understand. Right? Yeah, because you don't want to count the hairs on your knee.
I'm trying not to do social media, so I'm like,
shampoo bottle. Start reading the ingredients.
No, I'm like, all right, well, Tinder it is. So I've been on Tinder a lot,
judging women,
because I have not been on social media. So I've just been on Tinder, just something to do, right? Okay. And I've been swiping a lot, and I'm noticing there's still people that have like mask pictures with their fucking masks. And Tinder started doing this thing to where they had a sticker that you can put on your account that says vaccinated. And I'm like, that's an instant swipe left, because if you're still like flexing about that,
I don't give a shit.
Then I don't want to have. Then you're not a person that we're not going to get along.
I can already tell.
Gone. I don't care what she looks like. I don't care anything else about the bio. If she's got a goddamn "I'm vaccinated" sticker, we're not going to get along.
I like how you're shitting and finding dates.
Yeah,
all in the same time. This is wonderful.
Oh, that's the prime time to be on Tinder.
Knees are all red because you've been there too long.
At night in bed or on the shitter.
Okay.
the best time. It's the best time. I do it in the morning sometimes too.
So is that still happening? Is that still the still?
Yeah. So I still come across. It's less and less. At first, when with the height of the fucking mania, people had, as soon as the vaccines come out, everybody started getting them. The stickers were all over the place. But now I feel like people are slowly like understanding. Like, I look stupid.
Well,
but then you got some diehards that are just like,
I want to know why.
There's people that are still like walking. It amazes me that there's still people walking around in the fucking park, like outside, wearing the stupid fucking, and it's not even a good mask. It's like a shitty cloth thing. And I'm like, and I guarantee you they've already been vaccinated. I guarantee you they've already had COVID because everyone's fucking had Omicron at this point. And you're still wearing a mask?
I like it when I see them by yourself or in the car.
You look stupid.
Like, you cannot tell me you're like, this is working.
Right. And
feel like a fool.
Right. And I'm like, you might as well why don't you just bubble wrap yourself if you're that afraid of like something that you've literally already had, probably been vaccinated for. Why? Like, nobody needs to go through life like that.
It's got to be attention.
It's a cult thing at this point. It's people have. There was a guy that I saw that someone sent me a thing, and it was about this dude on, I think, Twitter. The news came out that Pfizer, with their mRNA vaccine, the news came out that they didn't actually do any studies, and I just repeating what I heard with this official. I think it was in the Netherlands or something like that, where this
shout out Netherlands.
This Dutch official, I think, was asking. I think it was Dutch. Was asking this Pfizer official, did you do any studies on humans for transmissibility of the vaccine? So if you get the mRNA vaccine from Pfizer, did you do any studies on its transmissibility? Meaning, can you transmit the virus once you've had the vaccine to another person? Because the whole thing that they said about, like, even if you've already had COVID or even if you are healthy, blah, 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 you should get the vaccine to save grandma. So that way you don't transmit it to grandma.
Right.
Right was the whole thing. That's the reason why even if you were healthy, you should get the vaccine anyway because you're saving grandma. Right?
Makes sense.
Which, first of all, that has never in the history of vaccines been a reason to get a vaccine is for somebody else.
Right.
That's number one, stupid as fuck. Right? I don't get the polio or whatever vaccine. I don't get
for grandma.
Hep C vaccine for my fucking grandma. No, that's not the reason. You get the vaccine for you, and if she needs it, she'll get the vaccine for her. Right? It's just the stupidest fucking argument I've ever heard in my life. So be that as may. They asked that question, said, did you do any studies for the transmissibility post-vaccination before the vaccine went to market? And the Pfizer chick laughed and said, oh, no. Of course we didn't. We were in a time crunch.
She's like, we made $290 billion.
She said something like, we were moving at the speed of science. We had to go, or something like that. And I'm like, what? The whole thing about forcing people to get vaccines, the vaccine mandate, was like, we're all in this together, and we got to save each other, and we got to save grandma. And the only way we can get back to normal is if everyone gets a vaccine. And it didn't do anything for the transmission. They didn't even fucking study for it. So people are, and this guy on Twitter, he finally was like, just some random dude. I think he was a blue check mark, so I don't know what he's probably some political dude or something. I don't know. I've never heard of him, but he said. He's like, okay, so the whole vaccine stops the transmission was a fucking lie. I need to apologize to a bunch of people. And I'm like, good for you to actually see the reality in the face and being like, fuck, I was wrong. I was lied to. I'm sorry, everybody.
Yeah, but
good for fucking him. But there's some people that are still out there wearing those masks that to this day, they can't get out of it. They can't admit to themselves that they were duped.
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah. Their
you know what I'm saying?
Because
they don't want to feel stupid.
Yeah.
So by doing that, they just look stupid. It's the weirdest thing.
Yeah. We went to a restaurant 3 weeks ago. I'm sitting down, and these three women came in and sat next to us, and they all three had masks on, and they all three ordered Dr. Peppers.
And they take it down.
And I'm like, do you really care about your health that much that you ordered soda, a bunch of fucking appetizers, and you're all overweight?
Yeah.
Good. I tell you what, pull that up. Actually, tighten it around your neck.
Right. You should I should just put a bag over your neck and just duct tape around the neck. And that way you'll never get anything.
Or I'll see someone by themselves outside. I went to an event today at Loretta Lynn's with probably 2,000 or more people. Not one fucking mask.
Yeah, because they're
not one
outdoors people, like they understand.
And because they know, and then everybody else, truthfully, once CDC came out and was like, gave those new guidelines, everyone should have been in a fucking uproar that we were all duped and lied to for 2 years. No one,
I'll be honest. COVID was over for me on day 16 of 15 days to stop the spread.
I worked all the way through when I had COVID. It's a fucking joke.
That shit was over for me at day 16 of 15 days to stop the spread. I was like, okay. As soon as they came out and said, oh, well, it's going to be 30 days now. I was like, here we fucking go. I'm not having shit. I'm not living this way.
I just saw some chick at McDonald's. I stopped in to grab something for Harp, and she has a mask on, looking like a fucking slob. Gross. And the mask isn't even on right. It doesn't even fit good. I'm like, why the fuck are you wearing that?
Yep.
Now it just irritates me when I see it.
The only people that I generally give a pass to is for my anger toward is really fucking old people. Like they're really fucking old. My thing is they probably are like an actual risk, and maybe they actually haven't caught COVID yet, and they probably couldn't get the vaccine because of other factors. Like some people have an actual allergic reaction to some of the stuff that's in it or whatever, so they can't get it. They can't get the vaccine. So I'm like, okay, maybe it's possible that this really old person would wear a mask during flu season. You know what I'm saying? So I give them a pass. But whenever, like to your point, I see some 30-something that's fat as a truck wearing a mask, and half the time they got like blue hair, I'm like, you're a dummy.
You look dumb. You look like a fool. Like you just need to admit that you fell in, you drank the water and the Kool-Aid. And you shouldn't have. Sorry.
Right. Exactly. I'm just wondering at any point are there going to be are these people going to look back, or just people in general, our society in general is going to look back on this time period and being like, what the fuck were we doing?
No.
I think we will. I think at some point we're going to look back. Like we will.
Like-minded people will.
We're doing it now.
But
are these people going to are people going to admit at some point, be like, yeah, and I was fucking lied to? Because they should be angry. They should be pissed off.
Oh, people should be infuriated.
They were lied to.
Yeah.
Right? And look, I can understand if, I called bullshit early on. I was like, this is bullshit. We don't do this. This is not how you operate in a pandemic. This doesn't make any sense. The things that they were saying didn't make sense to me. But the thing is like, okay, maybe if it didn't make sense to me, there's a reason why. Let's ask the question, right? So people were asking the same questions that I was asking. And it's like, oh yeah, that's a good question. And then they would get shut down or deplatformed or called, you're trying to kill grandma, and I was like, okay, this is a scam. I get it.
It made so much money. Now. It made so much money.
Oh yeah,
the whole thing.
Yeah, they still did. They spent, what was it, the American Rescue Plan or whatever. It was one of those bills that they spent like a fucking $1 trillion or whatever, and it was for COVID, right? I think it was a rescue plan. It had a bunch of COVID shit, and that was under the guise of COVID. At the same time, the president was saying COVID is basically over. Like, go back to your life. This guided lines and everything were loosening, and everybody was generally going back to normal. At the same time, they were spending $1 trillion on COVID, and you're like, what? So COVID was, in my mind, if just looking back on it, I think this has become more and more clear as the years go by, is COVID was two things. It was an opportunity to get to shit all over Trump because I hated him so much, and so it was just another thing. Like anything could have happened. Anything that it could have been a fucking natural disaster, could have been a goddamn asteroid that hit on the other side of the world. They would have used it to shit all over Trump because he wouldn't have responded the right way, or he wouldn't have done this.
Right.
He could have done everything right, and they still would have shit on him. You know what I'm saying? So it was just a thing that they needed to bash him with, and it worked. And two, they could spend a fuck ton of money. A fuck ton of money. That was the two reasons why the pandemic was a pandemic and not just a season of a virus that popped up, because we didn't do this for other stuff. It doesn't make any sense. And at some point along the way, like early on, we didn't have the information. We're like, okay, maybe let's do this 15 days thing, because I was all on board with that. I actually had like Facebook arguments with people that said this doesn't make sense, and I was explaining, yeah, it does make sense. If you slow everything down right now, it gives the medical system time to catch up. They can stockpile so that whenever we do loosen up after 15 days and everybody kind of goes back to normal but with precautions, then they're ready for the influx of patients. Made sense to me. It totally made sense. But then when that just continued on for 2 years, it didn't make that argument no longer flew anymore. Now it was just for spending money and shitting all over Trump. That's the two reasons why it persisted for 2 years. And then at some point along the way, it just became like a cult thing. It's like instead of it being like a for the people that were engaged in the activities that the leaders of this COVID cult were telling them to do. For them, it wasn't about money or shitting on Trump. For them, they were just following the dogma of the COVID cult,
right?
And they just, blind faith. They were just believing what the people at the top were saying, and they didn't want to be proven wrong because they had already probably been on Facebook and they had some argument with somebody about it, and they can't be wrong now because that would be embarrassing.
Well, the thing that bothers me the most is when you mention people should be angry. It's like,
that's what they should be.
They should be, because you look back at like the graduations that didn't happen, the proms that didn't happen, sporting events that didn't happen. Like you're talking about your seniors, juniors and seniors in school. They only get one shot at that. That's it. It's done.
Right. And right. When you don't understand the effects of that, that's going to cause a generation.
It was a fucking joke.
It was a joke.
People should be just absolutely questioning, like, for now on, I guarantee you now, if something ever does happen, nobody will believe the CDC. You've lost all credibility. Right. You have lost all credibility now.
Right.
Because the audacity to make those new guidelines. Basically, everybody's like, are you fucking are you serious right now?
Well, I also want to be perfectly clear when we're talking about like it was bullshit. I thought we're talking about the response that we had.
Yeah, I'm not saying
obviously
COVID
people
is not
died from COVID.
It is real. I'm not saying that because everybody's like, oh, it's a real virus.
Right.
Yeah, I know that. I had it. My whole family had it. I know.
Yeah, a lot of people died from it. We can squibble over the numbers because I don't believe the actual million people number. I don't believe that number either.
I don't.
I think it was high, but I don't think it was million.
You'll never get an accurate number.
We'll never. No.
The hospitals were flexing them. Marginalized whatever because they got more money.
They got more money
case.
from the government for each.
And
COVID
a hospital
case.
is a business. Right. I'm here to tell you, it is a huge business.
Yes, and they had steep declines in deaths from other related things, and it was like, well, the number of heart attacks don't go down just because we're in a pandemic.
Flu disappeared.
Right,
the common cold disappeared. Everything disappeared.
So it's because they bundled it all together, and it was a COVID death, not a heart attack. So that's what it ended up being, and I think that's happened with a lot of it is that people were either already dying of something else or they died of other causes, and because they had COVID, it got counted as a COVID death.
I had a family member of mine just went to the hospital to get a small minor surgery done, and they walk in and they're like, "Do you have a mask for what?" Well, they're like, "Have you not seen the CDC's new guidelines?" Well, yeah, but we follow a different one. He's okay. Just give me a fucking mask. I don't have to. Okay,
exactly. Yeah, I've had to go into assisted living facility even after all mask mandates were lifted. I've had to go into those before, and they required a mask because that was their policy. And again, those are people that it's an assisted living facility. They're in hospice care.
Sure,
that makes sense. I'm fine with that. Because they would it would make sense for them to have that policy during flu season, right? Because you don't want flu getting in there because that can kill people too. So yeah, that's fine. It's just that the average everyday person that just got duped in this thing. And my thing is, we're shitting on people saying, you're a fucking idiot. You are a fucking idiot. But if you admit that you were lied to, and now you can join me, and we can both be pissed off at the same people, and I will take you in willingly, and we can be on the same side. I guess if you want to make this a side issue, that's fine. I will accept that. Like I appreciate seeing that guy on Twitter said I was fucking lied to, and I need to apologize to everybody. He's probably talking about people that he had ribbed on social media because he was a masker and they weren't or whatever, and they were trying to say, look, if you want to fucking wear a mask, it's fine, but just don't tell me that I have to because I think this is kind of bullshitty.
I mean,
that's what we're talking about. Is the response?
Yeah, you saw a lot of your senators and from different states and such that were talking about really pushing it in their states, and then they get caught out with family without them on. Right. They're like, fucking hypocrite. Like it's a joke, people.
Or how about the fucking Black Lives Matter riots of 2020? To where they're like, oh, well, this issue is so much more important than COVID right now, so I understand why people are rioting.
Both of them are equally
or protesting or whatever the fuck. Yeah. And it's like, okay, that one I think is where it broke a lot of people because that was 2020. So that was the summer of 2020. The pandemic started in April, March, whatever, right? March. And so March is when we were doing the 15 days to stop the spread. I'm pretty sure. Maybe it was April.
I don't know.
But and then because I think it was March and it was going into April, and then they said at the end of April 30th is when it'll be. We're extending it to the April 30th, and it just kept going forever. Well, whenever we were in the height of it, in the summer of 2020, after the George Floyd thing, and then they had millions of people out on the street protesting after they had told us that we had to stay indoors and lock ourselves away because of COVID, but you can go out and protest
and spit on each other while you're
spit on each other.
In there.
And like nobody's wearing fucking masks. Some people were wearing masks, but like at some point when you're yelling and screaming, spitting and everything like that, the mask is fucking
That
pointless.
was Antifa. That's why they masked on.
Right. Or criminals. But it was just, at that point, I was just like, okay, y'all are full of shit.
Oh, yeah.
It would have been better if they would have been like, yeah, look, they should not be if I would have had more respect for the establishment, the medical people telling me, saying, listen, they should not be protesting. I understand that this is an issue that you care about, blah, 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 give it lip service, but say they should not be protesting. We're in a pandemic. If they would have said that, I'd have been like, okay, fine. That makes sense.
I actually hate the word protest. I can't stand.
I think it's the dumbest fucking thing ever.
It's the dumbest thing on the planet Earth. I'm sorry.
I think it's dumb.
It's stupid.
I don't protest anything. Even stuff I care about. I was like, I'm not going into a fucking crowd and chanting with my goofy sign. I'm not going to throw. I'm sorry.
I'm not going to throw bricks at Pete shit. I'm not. As soon as I literally, even if it's a group that I know is not violent, they're like, we're going to do a protest. I immediately like turned off. No matter your message, I'm immediately like, I don't give a shit anymore about what you have to say.
Right. I mean, you could be protesting about like free blowjobs, and I would still be like,
I'm still stupid. I don't want to protest. I don't want to. Sorry, say, call me. Whatever word you want to say to describe how I feel, but I don't give a shit as soon as you say protest.
Yeah, I'm just like, yeah, right. That word I can't stand. I also hate the word activist.
Oh, you're.
Also, you're just lazy with a dogma is all you are. Like you don't want a job, so you're an activist.
Yeah, sorry, welcome to the real world.
Right.
I don't give a shit about your problem.
I hate the word activist. And the thing is, like, there's a lot of activists that do good work. Like, there's good activists. Sorry, it's a tainted word.
It's a bunch of hypocrites.
It's a tainted word. Like, there's good activists, there's good protesters, there's good journalists, but there's so many fucking shitty ones that it's a tainted word to me now. Like, if someone says like, "Oh, I'm a journalist," I'm like, idiot.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's like,
fuck you.
I'm an activist.
I'm an activist. I'm like, oh my god, go away. Because you know that person's just going to just talk your ear off about their activism.
It's the same thing.
It's like a Crossfitter or vegan.
It's the same thing when when someone. I love when someone asks if we they came. I forgot who came out. They were like, "Oh, do you guys recycle?" And they had something. I was like, "No, I don't fucking recycle. Put it in the trash can."
Right. Exactly.
I was like,
"It's all going to China in the ocean anyway."
It's all going to the landfill. You guys realize that, right? You're like, we recycle. Do you? Do you realize it goes on the same fucking truck? So no, I don't recycle.
I know.
Put it in the fucking trash can.
My dad does that. So he's done that recycling for years. And the thing is, like, sure, it goes to a different bin when you're at the dump, but they all, like you said, they all go in the same truck. They all go to the same place. And and even if they separate them at like the local landfill or whatever, facility or whatever the fuck it is, the dumping station, whenever half the time they ship that shit overseas. So for them to like burn it or take care of it or process it or whatever the fuck, are they really checking in on seeing what China or Vietnam is doing? They're like, no, they just dump it in a fucking hole.
Have you seen the people that work at the dump?
And say it's good.
Do you really think they're sorting your trash?
Oh, no.
They have a garden hose to spray the couches and TVs you throw in the fucking bin. Like, I don't know.
Like, if you really want to like minimize your plastic use, I guess, if that's what you're recycling, just use less plastic. Okay, stop fucking worrying about like where it gets dumped. Just stop using, like, I do it in small ways. Mostly because I just don't want to like deal with the crap, the extra, like the trash of it all. Not that I care about like using less plastic, but when I'm like at the convenience store and I'll get like a water and some fucking M&Ms or whatever, I don't need a fucking bag for that.
It's the same.
Let me just pay for it. Take it with the two hands that I just used to bring it up here. I don't need a fucking bag.
Oh, Best Buy charges you 10 cents for a bag. Do you know that? For the plastic bags, it's 10 cents charged for to use those.
Really? Mm-hmm. I didn't. It's I just found that out. Just automatically part of the transaction.
Yeah, that's what some girl just told me. That actually has a friend that works at Best Buy. She's like, yeah, they charge 10 cents to use those. Yeah.
Well, I guess when you buy,
unless she's a fucking liar,
buying like $800 TV, what's 10 cents?
That's what. So that my
we're
dad
not really putting that in a bag.
My dad looked at him and was like, he told the lady that said that. Of course, she had like she's crazy looking, and he was like, well. He told her, he said, anything I buy at Best Buy won't fit in a bag.
Right.
He's like, so I can't put an 86-inch TV in a plastic bag.
Okay, yeah, so he's like the same thing I was.
I was like, okay, perfect.
Yeah.
It's funny you said activist. I was on an article the other day talking about the whole electric car craze, and there's that commercial on the radio that's like, your friends are already driving them. I'm going to go ahead and tell you, I fucking hate electric car pushers. The pushers. I do not like it. It fucking irks me
because that's an activist. They think that they're pushing because you have to save the planet.
But you're not. You're not saving the planet. Do you know how long it takes to get that lithium and stuff, and then dispose of those fucking batteries?
Have you ever seen a lithium strip mine? It's a ginormous hole in the ground.
They're destroying the environment by using these goofy fucking cars nobody can afford.
Right.
Like I'm sorry. I cannot get on board with it. It fucking irks me. I've rode electric dirt bikes that are a fucking blast. Toys, sure, but like you going out and buying a Tesla or whatever it is, you're like, oh, I'm doing my part. I don't fucking care if you're doing your part.
Those are the people
I don't give a shit. You're not doing your part. You just bought an $80,000 RC car.
Well, I'll be honest. If they came out with a actual like truck that I would want to buy, like a good looking one instead of that fucking weird Minecraft looking
Ford's got
truck.
One. GMC's got one.
Yeah, I'm kind of like anti-Ford, so it'd have to be like if Toyota came out with a good one, or if Tesla came out with a good one, and it was reasonably priced. Like I'm not buying an $80,000 truck.
There's not a reasonably priced electric car.
That's my that's my reason for not getting into it, because it's just costs too much. It's too new of a thing. Yeah. It's got to come once it comes down, and they can make a fucking Camry, out of it, like something simple. That's not $80,000 or whatever. I thought, what is the cheapest Tesla?
I think you can get one. I think you can get one probably for. I may be wrong. I don't think they're all 80.
They're going down. It's getting more.
With that
affordable.
being said, their argument was all like, it's low maintenance. But I'm like, is it? Because all of it's electronic. Something fucking breaks. It's not something I can go get an AutoZone and get it fixed.
Well, that's true. But I've had a similar argument with my dad about this, about electric cars. I think that regardless of how we feel about the environmental aspect of it, that people are pushing it for environmental reasons, which is not my reason, would not be my reason for getting an electric car. I don't give a flying fuck about the climate 100 years from now. I just don't give a fuck. I'm sorry. I have a hard time actually caring about that. I mean, you may be right. That's my thing. It's like you could be right.
But do you know how big
I don't fucking care.
Do you know how big the planet is? Do you know how minimal we are compared to the planet? We mean nothing to the overall planet. They don't mean anything.
That's my overall problem with the whole thing is that we have to shoot ourselves in the dick now so that we may possibly decrease it or just not increase, because apparently we've used so much fossil fuels at this point that even if we stopped, we wouldn't lower the temperature. It would just not go any higher if we stopped tomorrow. 100 years from now is all the projections. So it's not like there's the doomsday people drive me nuts. And so the people that are pushing, like, you have to drive electric because we got to save the planet, I hate those fucking people. That's not the reason why I would want to drive an electric vehicle, and the reason why, but I think that electric vehicles will be the norm at some point.
So if you want to get one because you think it's cool, I'm all for it.
Right.
But as soon as you're like, I'm doing my part, go fuck yourself.
Go fuck yourself.
I don't 100%. Care. But if you're like for you just said, I think it's cool, I want one. It's your money. Mm-hmm. It's your happiness. I've rode in one. We rode one in Vegas. It was neat. Would cool. I buy one? No, because I can't put pipes in an electric car.
That's true. Yeah,
so it bothers me.
You have it. Yeah.
But I like a traditional, and also people that are like doomsday, like who are environmental. I'm like, what if there's a fucking blackout or a solar flare? You're fucked. That car is rendered useless.
That's the problem.
Like,
right. That's my thing.
And they're short range for right now.
Yeah. See, so my thinking is like all of the short range was, some of them were a lot better about that, but like the one we have at work, I think is just super. They just got the base model. That's the reason why it has to be charged.
You're about 400 miles, I think, right now. In some of them, right?
Roughly. It's probably more than that. Maybe 500.
I don't think it's that much. I think it's safe bet is that's what it is.
On average, probably. But and the other problem with it is there takes a longer to charge.
There's only
to get
so
a
many
good charge.
charging stations.
With a lot of them, you can plug in directly to a normal outlet these days. So here's my point with all that. Is that all of that stuff can get figured out and get better. Sure. That's just the way technology is that anytime that something is inconvenient, when something new comes out, they're like, how can we make this more convenient, more prolific? And that stuff will, like, things will get smaller, things will get faster, things will charge faster, they'll go further, they'll be more availability to charge. All of that will sort itself out. that's not really my problem. But I think that the reason why people will go more and more electric is just because it is cheaper for a commuting type thing. For a commuter, they don't have to worry about the price of gas is no longer a thing.
Like I said,
I've heard people that drive them as their daily commuter. They're like, yeah, I don't give a flying fuck what the gas prices are. Right, I'm doing my thing.
But they bought it for that reason.
Right,
like do it.
That's fine.
That's what I'm saying. I guess what I'm saying is I have electric toys at the house. Like we have electric dirt bikes. We have electric. I mean, all kinds of stuff. Like I'm not against it. Yeah. I just don't like the pushers that are doing it.
Yeah.
They're saying I'm doing it because the environment. Just say you like it.
Just say you like it.
You just like
That's
it.
Fine. Right.
Like you just said, if someone commuted hundreds of miles, like they're like, well, fuck, the amount of money I'll be saving on gas will do the payment on this car.
Yeah,
fuck,
exactly.
by all means, cool.
Then go for
That's
it.
a real reason to do it. Cool.
Right. And a lot of the other extras that they put in these electric cars are really cool and updated. Like the Teslas are almost like a fucking computer.
Yeah. And the reason I brought that up is just because you mentioned activists, which pisses me off too. I went into that whole the electric car is going to say, no,
right.
Go away.
I would buy an electric car if
if you want one,
I would buy an
electric
man. Truck. Let's be real, because I can't go back to a car. I have to.
I agree.
I would buy an electric truck if it was comparable in all of its functions as a gas powered truck, as far as that I don't want to be like struggling up a fucking hill or whatever. But apparently all that it has from maintenance perspective, because I've dealt with fucking dogs of vehicles that have really fucking put a hole in my wallet.
I had some of the best times in shitty vehicles.
Well, yeah, don't get me wrong, 100%. Yeah, parked in some places. Yeah, absolutely.
I had some great times in some shitty cars.
But it was terrible for my financial situation a lot of times.
Yes.
So they burned a hole through my wallet. But so like an electric vehicle is less moving parts, and when you have less moving parts and less heat, you don't have to lubricate a bunch of shit.
Sure.
You tend to early on a lot of people, there was problems with batteries, and like actually there's still kind of a problem with it, because I read a story about electric cars in Florida. Whenever they got flooded, they've been underwater, and so these batteries get waterlogged and they're catching on fire. Something happens with the chemical process, and they're getting breached somehow, and then the water gets in there and it heats them up and they catch on fire. So there's like a problem now with, and I'm sure they're leaking a bunch of shit into the water, into the ocean. So it's like, that's the same with everything. Everything's going to have some sort of downside, drawback, whatever.
Just have fun.
But my thing is it cool? Does it make life better, easier? If that's the case, then that's the direction we're going to be going. Gas-powered vehicles will go the way of the dodo if those things hold true.
Dodge is already doing it.
If it's cool and it makes life better.
Dodge is already pulling. They're done with the Challenger and Chargers for V8s and gas motors.
That was kind of the argument I was having with my dad. I was like, listen, I think gas-powered vehicles will go the way of the dodo at some point. It'll be a long time. There's still a place for fossil fuels, because they have not figured out any other kind of propulsion system for like rockets and airplanes.
Yeah, and you can't. You know how many batteries it would take to get a fucking airplane?
Right. I mean, what's the propulsion system? Like you have to have some sort of system.
And what I think is funny is these activists,
for
these lithium mines, those are all gas powered diesel machines.
Well, and that's also
mining.
The grid that's powering up your car is mostly fossil fuel.
It'll be a long time.
It's going to be a long time. And the thing is the people that think that we can just stop.
You lost your.
You're an idiot.
Yeah, you're an idiot.
You're a dummy. I mean, you really. Like, what you're talking about is we would be living in the fucking dark. We would have no lights.
They don't think about it.
You can't put up solar panels and fucking windmills that fast. And they, again, I know this
windmills are a fucking joke.
I know this is a fucking the people like to. This is a cliche or a cliched argument, but they only work when the wind blows and the sun's shining. I'm sorry. It's just that's never going to fucking change.
We just mentioned windmills the other day.
You can store that electricity in certain places, but that's the other problem with these current renewables is they don't have the portability is not there. It's not like you can fill a tank of wind take it somewhere. You can store it in a battery, but again, those are not infinite. You can't just infinitely hold a charge in the battery either. So it's obviously transporting that is not as easy as a gallon of gas, right? It's a different thing. They're not comparable. And trying to say, and also you can't say if you have a surge for whatever reason, you need a surge of electricity because you need a bunch now for whatever reason. So you've got to redirect some power on one side of the grid to the other or whatever. you can't just make more wind. You can't just make more solar.
Well, that's what Dad. We had this conversation a couple weeks ago. We mentioned windmill farms. Mm-hmm. My dad's like, I've drove past them. He's like, it's so much fucking acreage, and these things are giant.
They look gaudy as fuck.
Everybody's like, and Dad's like, they really don't do a fucking thing.
Yeah, half the time I've driven by one. There's someone you're going on between Nashville and Chicago. You go, I think somewhere up in Indiana, and there's a windmill farm up there, and half the time they're not even fucking moving.
Yeah, so I'm like, this was a waste of time.
Right.
Sorry.
I think the percentage of like wind and solar power is very small.
Even on solar panels, like, you know what I mean? You have to have,
right?
Like, there has to be so many of them.
Well, maybe there's some credence. I'll give them some credence. The solar power people, not necessarily the wind power.
It's cool.
I think windmills are kind of dumb, but solar power is. I've heard Elon Musk say this before, and so I'm not going to call him a liar, but maybe he's not right about every single little detail of this. But his claim is that you can there's like the corner of Utah you can completely cover in solar panels, and that would power the United States, which is probably true. Like if you take out a certain section in the grand scheme of things, like an area in the desert, which is where you would probably want to have a solar panel farm. And you put a fuck ton of solar panels out there, enough to be able to generate all of the U.S.'s electric use, then you probably could. Yeah, sure.
Elon's a cool guy.
I have no idea how much that fucking would cost, but who cares? If it costs whatever it costs, you spend it and you do that. Now we don't longer rely on fossil fuels for the grid. Okay,
we'll just take some of that.
But you still have the problem of all of our systems are the propulsion problem. Like you cannot put solar panels or put batteries on a fucking airplane.
Not a commercial.
You know what I'm saying? Like the rockets in SpaceX are using fossil fuels. They're not using.
I know.
His electric batteries. You know what I'm saying? Like it's unrealistic thing. My thing, if you actually cared, and we've gone into a fucking rabbit hole or whatever. I guess if you want to finish it up, we can finish it up with this. My thing about the global warming, global climate change, whatever the fuck you want to call it,
an inconvenient truth
is if you actually cared about the environment and you wanted to maintain our society and keep the lights on, but you also wanted to save the planet. If you're an activist like that, right? Nuclear is the answer. It works right now. We have it. It's available. You can make them. We have the technology. We can do it.
If you build it.
But if you build it the lights will stay on, and you can save the planet because it does not emit greenhouse gases. It's spent fuel rods, right? And so you got to store those anywhere. But I've heard that you can store all of the spent fuel rods that would currently be made now could fit inside one soccer stadium, or the whole planet. All of the nuclear plants around the world, if you spent all their fuel rods today, they could all fit in one soccer stadium. That is a good trade-off. That is not a lot of space. But everyone's got this
weird stigma around nuclear plants.
And that's Hollywood's fault, is because we focus in it like that show Chernobyl. That everybody thinks Chernobyl, 5 Mile Island, Fukushima. That's what everybody thinks. But those were really bad disasters, but those were not a fault of necessarily nuclear technology. That was engineering stupidity by people. Like, why the fuck would you put a nuclear reactor on a fault line where tsunamis, we're talking about Fukushima, that's the reason why that fucking thing blew or melted down, is because a fucking tsunami hit it. Like, why would you build one there? That's stupid.
Okay, that's shitty.
You know what I'm saying? And the Chernobyl, you're talking about the Soviet Union. They were collapsing at this point. Soviet Union was beholden to the Communist Party, so they put a bunch of like loyalists in these positions, not actual qualified scientific people. And so they were the Soviet Union. They couldn't have like a disaster, and so they kept covering it up and delaying the problem. Like, if you ever watch that show, it kind of really gives you an insight to the problem was not the nuclear reactor. It wasn't like it was faulty.
Well,
like it was not a great design, but it was an old design. It was an old reactor, and it had not been updated for years. It'd been neglected. And most of you watch that show, which is watch it on HBO. It's Chernobyl. It's fantastic. It's really eerie the way that they do that movie, which is the reason I'm excited that the showrunners are going to do the Last of Us show on HBO.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Fucking awesome.
Yeah,
but it's the political operators that were in control of that whole situation were morons. And everybody was afraid to tell the truth, otherwise they might be standing in front of a firing squad. You know what I mean? Because of the way the communists were. So that was the problem with that one. And so if you actually looked at the technology, and we're only going to get better and better at it, we have the ability to do it right now, but everybody's afraid of nuclear.
Well, they've even said before you can do smaller facilities. That their output is tremendous.
Yeah.
And less stress on the environment, and actually less stress on the system, a better system.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, I listened to a guy who was talking about it, and he was just like, I don't know what's wrong with y'all. Yeah. Like this, it is there, we have it, it will work.
And this nuclear reactors are also things that you can ramp up and ramp down. So you can power them down during low peak, and then you can power them, crank them up whenever you got peak times for usage.
They work. They have nuclear subs.
Like you can't really do that with some of this other stuff.
They have nuclear subs that work perfect.
That's enough. That is a great point. I remember someone has said that before, and I was like, yes, if we trust a nuclear reactor to be underwater in a steel tube next to nuclear missiles
and other ballistics
floating around in the ocean
at any given time,
are you saying we can't power our city streets?
Yeah. And that bitch stays out at sea forever.
All the ships.
It doesn't require anything.
Right. Most of the ships are nuclear powered,
and it works great.
And it's fucking fantastic.
But we're okay with that.
And we have not heard about any of them melting down or having a fucking problem and all this kind of shit. I think there was one time where one sank, and there was a fear of it. I think it was Russian, or maybe it was French or something. I can't remember what it was, but there was years ago there was one that sank to the bottom, and they had to go try to rescue the guys, and the fear was that the nuclear reactor could melt down. And of course, then it would create a local environmental hazard, right? Obviously.
Sure.
Right. So, take precautions and do what we got to do. But that genie is already out of this bottle.
It would work.
We're not going to go back to where we don't know about nuclear power.
You would take a lot of stress off other avenues.
If you were actually serious. That's my thing. I would ask anybody that question. If you were actually serious about saving the planet, you would be into nuclear. The fact that you don't even consider it and you just dismiss it all entirely, and you're like, well, we got to do wind and solar. You're done. All of your arguments are invalid after that point because you're not taking this. You're not actually serious. You're just following the program that you've been told.
And they'll probably tell you if you mention nuclear to them, they tell you, well, no, we can't do that. It's bad. It'll blow up.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, they'll give me some Hollywood bullshit type thing that they've seen. Like, oh, well, Fukushima. It's like, yeah, but that's one, and we know why that one. So just don't do that again. Don't put it on a fucking fault line.
The second one is
a tsunami
old and dated and fucked up in a terrible place.
And it was also 40 years ago.
Yeah, so things have been improved.
Right, exactly. God. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You're not wrong.
So I hate activists, protesters, vegans, crossfitters. You all suck. Maskers. You all fucking suck.
Maskers.
You all suck, and you're all stupid. You just get out of your little bubble and think for yourselves. Or if you don't want to, leave me alone. Don't shit all over. Leave me alone. Don't get in my fucking face talking about how I'm killing grandma and the planet. Fuck off.
Yep.
That's just my little rant. I'm getting real testy.
I like it. Your mustache got longer.
It did it. I just shaved it too, a little down.
It just came in fuller after you got mad.
Speaking of, let's go down this a little bit because we're an hour and 15. And let's I got a question for you. For the next 15 minutes, we'll talk about this.
Okay.
Is this actually working for me? This situation that I got here.
I can tell you, I like it, but I can tell you, even from a female perspective, Kylie likes it when you have that better. She thinks it looks
better
nice
with this because this is about all I can do. I'm not going to be able to grow a full beard, a goatee, and I actually kind of cringe at the idea. If someone, I had this thought the other day. That's the reason I'm asking this question.
Okay, go ahead.
So here's my thought: is I was taking care of my, cleaning it up, making it neat because I don't like to get all bushy and so whatever. So I'm cleaning it up.
So facial hair care is important.
Right, exactly. And so so this is mostly because I don't like it starts.
I don't like hair in my
tickling
mouth.
me and gets in a weird spot, like especially the corner of my mouth, or like when I'm eating something, I'll feel it.
I don't like it.
So it's driving me nuts. So I have to take care of it. So I was taking care of it and doing a little manscaping, and also the pubes too. It's a full body thing.
Lack of.
Right, exactly right. Dolphin smooth down there. Right. No beard down there. Anyway, so my thought was I was like, what if someone had to identify me, and they were like looking at me, was like, oh yeah, it's that guy with the goatee, and I'm like, oh, I don't want to be the guy with the goatee.
I don't think I would ever describe.
I've never liked that term. I've never liked the word goatee, and I've always kind of equated goatee with douchebag in my mind.
Really,
I've never liked the goatee thing. I've never liked. Beard is fine, mustache is fine.
My dad had a goatee for years.
I know, but goatee has always been kind of like, that's what you went with, a goatee. Like, you could have done anything else. You went with a goatee. And now, because that's literally the only thing that I can grow.
But that's good that you're so...
people would be like, oh, yeah, it's that guy with the goatee. And I don't want to be the guy with the goatee.
Well, I like it, the fact that you, know that you can't grow a full beard. But you can do a good goatee and mustache, which I like. I think it looks better on you than not having any. That's just me.
Okay. So I should keep it.
And Kylie even said
I've thought about getting rid of it.
She likes it when you have it. She said it looks nice on you.
What about length? Is this probably the best?
That's probably the best, because when it gets...
Not too long?
Yeah, I taper my beard in. Like, I actually do... I fade mine in. I keep it a 3 long to the bottom, and I go up to a 0. Like I do, because I've spent years watching YouTube videos. Like, I can do this myself. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so I don't like a long pube-like beard. I don't like it to get wiry. But yeah, the length that's at now, I think that's golden. Okay. Just stay there. But I like how the fact that instead of trying to hold... And this, now that we're on this manscaping, man care, hair thing, I don't like... the dudes that... If you're losing your hair... Just fucking shave it.
Own it.
You trying to keep this weird tapestry or like this round thing where you got nothing on the dome up top, you try to fade it, just fucking shave it. Right. I'm telling you, you will not look back.
That look is in.
The bald is in, bro. Like when my stuff started going back and I got deep V on the top of my head and that started thinning on top, dude, shave it bald. Just get rid of it. If you can't grow a beard...
And now you got people like emulating you.
Yeah. I have 4 people at work that now have the same look as me. Right. So... It's really weird. But if you can't grow...
You start seeing is there mirrors everywhere? What's happening?
If you can't grow a beard, but you can grow a mustache, okay, well then do that. Like, play your strengths. Don't try to make it come and look like salt meat hair.
Right.
Like, patchy. Right. You look like you got mange.
And
don't fucking do that.
That was my thing with finally just like growing this out and see what I could do. Like, I started off with just growing everything out and see what would happen. And then I just realized like the cheeks were just not coming in.
You look like Johnny Depp when he's a pirate. He's got like a random patch here.
Yeah,
like
100%.
Yeah, stop doing that.
Right. Yeah. So I had to stop doing that because like it was not coming in on the jawline. I had gaps, and I was like, this doesn't work.
It looks weird.
And my whole reason was with keeping facial hair was that I hated fucking shaving every day. It sucked. Having to shave every day. And if I didn't, I would have this like shadowy looking thing. It just didn't look good. I was like, so I was like, let me just grow it out, see what it'll do. And this is where I've come to because I can't get anything else going. Maybe it took me 35 years to get to this point. So maybe in another 30, I'll actually have a full beard. Who knows? I don't know how beards work. I think it's genetically. I think I'll just be fucked. I'll have
your mustache will just come in like.
I think there's some stuff that you can do. I think you can.
There's pills you can take, and there's something you can rub in.
But I think it's probably like
Crunk's got something he's been doing.
But it's probably like dick pills, to where it's like, it kind of works.
It's actually estrogen. They just don't tell you.
That's right. It kind of works, but if you stop taking, you go back to normal size.
Like you go to the doctor and like, what's wrong? You're like, well, my nipples hurt really bad since I started taking this beard medicine.
Like I have a full beard, but I have puffy nipples.
That's what I'm saying. They're like, somebody fucked that bottle up.
So trade offs. I got a full beard, but I got to wear a bra now.
Yeah, you're like, well, these nipples are huge. My beard looks great. You win some, you lose some.
Imagine that, if you were like meeting, hooking up with a girl for the first time, and she was like really into you because you got the beard, you got the whole look and everything like that, and then you like take your shirt off and you got these fucking tits. You're like,
oh fuck. That's like in that.
Yeah, that beard's not looking so good.
That's like that movie, the other woman, where she's changing out his shake with estrogen and his nipples gonna be real long and they hurt.
Oh yeah.
that's just like that.
Oh, that's like, have you seen like some of those like transgender people, whatever, non-binary, whatever the fuck they want to be, is where they're like very feminine, but they got a full beard, and I'm like, pick a side, fuck.
Yeah, I don't know.
This weird in between shit. Weird, it doesn't make any sense.
It's like that video that we saw where that dude, whatever that thing was like had that baby, and they were like, yeah, he's latching really well, but not getting any milk. Yes. You're a fucking dude.
You're a dude.
And I like really posted and was like shocked what's happening. Like, get the fuck out of here.
No, like, the fact that they were like actually like puzzled.
Yeah, like I don't know why they're getting milk.
I'm befuddled. I've thought of all the possibilities, and I can't come up with one reason why I can't produce milk. I'm like, you can't. Not one reason.
Yeah, like
it was because there's testosterone coursing through your veins.
It's because you used to have
balls.
You have
a cock and balls.
You used to have a balls.
Probably still does.
Probably still does. We're going to try that out later.
Just because you took some estrogen and now you got some puffy man tits does not mean that you actually have breasts.
I can now make milk.
You fucking idiot.
I want to strangle people all the time.
I know, dude. I really do. You know, whatever. Live your life however you want to live your life, but I'm going to make fun of you.
Oh, yeah.
Just accept
you're a fucking idiot.
I'm going to make fun of you. You're stupid. Okay. Hey, look, if I do some stuff that you think is stupid, fucking call me out on it. I'll probably laugh too.
I don't care.
I don't care. If it's funny, I'll probably laugh because I love self-deprecating humor.
Yeah. Absolutely. My wife and kid make fun of me. Like, you can't do anything bad to me.
Oh, my God.
I've been called horrible things.
I know. Fuck. I don't even know where we went. What did we talk about? Where did we start with this? I think we was talking about metaverse strippers, and then we started talking about nuclear energy policy.
Nuclear energy, and then activists suck, and maskers are bitches.
That's how we got here. Activists.
You submit today's climate. It all circles around today's climate. That's what you see every day.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, so that's what's going on in the world today. Or at least how I see it, and in my brain. And yours too.
I like it.
Fucking A. Yeah, that was a good brand. That was good that you brought that up. The protesters and activists. I fucking can't stand those people.
I know we've mentioned before off video or audio. It's a
100%.
shit show.
Well, I guess we're sitting at an hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah, man.
We might
wrap it up.
We're trying not to
trying to shorten us up. Make it short and sweet.
Yeah. We got some ideas rolling around our head. We're thinking about doing. You guys obviously heard some of it about name change and whatnot, but just be on the lookout for some of that stuff. We'll let you know if we make any major change, so we don't shock the system.
Right.
But I guess we'll. In this thing, you got anything else you want to talk about?
Yeah. Since we didn't do the intro, which we kind of just got right into it, which is great still, but yeah, make sure you like, follow, subscribe, share, comment, please. We actually we're still under a 5-star rating under Spotify.
Cool.
But that was cool.
It's like 2 people that rated
12.
12. Okay.
12. So
Baker's dozen.
Actually, I've had more people actually
those are our disciples.
Like I love having people actually come up to us at work, wherever it be, and be like, "It's pretty good show." I'm like, "Fuck, all right, I didn't know you were listening to it." So like, I think there's more people listen to it than I think there is. But it's always weird when it's a family member or family friend that comes up. They're like, "Oh, I didn't know that about you." I'm like, I don't want to dive into what you just said. Right. So. Great. Thanks for listening.
Well, it's like
don't question me about it.
I think when people say this, like, "Oh yeah, listen to the podcast, man. I really like it. It's cool, whatever." Sometimes I'm thinking, well, why don't you share it then? Because they're like, I think it's like a guilty pleasure. They're kind of like,
it's fun. Okay, you said it's funny you say that because I've had friends on Instagram and stuff that have messaged me or people that we know mutually and be like, "Yeah, it's a great fucking show." I really like it. I'm like, so why won't you share it? Like, I know you're online because you'll message me and be like, it's really dope. Or tell me, I know you're on social media.
Because me and you share stuff that we like all the time.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I share stuff that I like. Yeah, this is cool. Yeah. Like, so what, like, is it like you said, is it not necessarily you're embarrassed that you're watching it, but like, is it like.
It's like a secret thing.
It's like you said, a guilty pleasure. Is that why you won't share it? Like, and it just helps us. Like, if you don't, obviously, like, if this makes it or doesn't really fucking affect your life. Right. I understand, but like if you're already listening to it, like just share it. Like I mean, it's
right, and we're not like we joke, well, like share it with 10,000 friends or whatever. And we're not like angry that people are not sharing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't give a shit. I'm still gonna make the episodes whether or not you share it or not. But
I'm
like,
just trying to like analyze the situation. Whenever people say that, I'm like, yeah, really, okay. So just you, like you, I know you got friends.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if you think it's good,
I appreciate you follow.
Like, unless you're embarrassed, like
I'm glad you like the show.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm glad that you're enjoying it because it's fun for me.
But I'm just wondering, like, what kind of vibe are we putting out there?
What's wrong that you won't share it? Like, I need to know why you're not sharing my fucking shit. That's what I'm sorry. I want to know why you're not.
Is it? That's what I really want to know. Is like, what kind of? I mean, I know the kind of shit that we talk about on this podcast. So
it's all relatable.
But it's like we're not really saying like I've listened to podcasts. They say some awful shit.
I've listened to terrible podcasts that people share, and I'm like, it sucks.
Right,
your podcast blows. I've listened to them.
Right.
If I talk shit about your podcast, I've listened to it.
So maybe they do listen to it, but it's not like to the level of like, oh fuck, you got to check this out. Maybe that's it.
And you don't listen to as many episodes as some people mess me and listen to all of them without sharing it. Like you don't. Sorry, like I share shit that I like.
Yeah,
I don't know.
That's true.
We've had a few people actually share our stuff. Like I've shouted them out on here, and then I've done that too. So
I think I know what it is. We'll talk about it after the pod. I think I know what would help with the sharing thing. Well, we don't have anything that's shareable size. It's just a full length podcast.
No, I'm talking about like even when I put like
clips and stuff.
Clips.
Yeah.
Well, not even clips.
True.
If I'm just put like this new episode dropped, like people could be like, hey, check this pod out. Like.
I guess so.
There's no excuse. There's no excuse. I'm sorry.
I'm giving people an out.
Yeah, I'm not. Okay. I don't care. And if
I'm giving you an
if I get a message next week that says like, well, I don't think you're that good. Fine, fuck, okay, cool. Like I don't give a shit. Like just I'd like to know why. Like, do I need to start posting like, what do you think we should have for breakfast? And then I'll get fucking things, or like, or like, I gained some weight, lost it. Like, oh my god, you're a fucking hero.
Or you should just post that you're going to be a real estate agent now, and then post that.
Oh fuck! And I'm like,
everybody's like, oh, so good for you.
You're my hero.
Oh, boss babe.
Or I'm going on a new journey. What's your journey? Self-discovery. You're incredible. You're a hero. Fuck. Nobody gives a shit.
It's because we're dudes. Nobody gives a fuck about our emotions or how well we're doing.
It's like when we take compliments.
Right.
We don't get them very often. So it's flattering. So we freak out about it, and one carries with us for a week.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. That's what I should tell like girls whenever they get all these compliments. They post something about something life changing or whatever, and they get like 100 compliments about it. But like, that's all bullshit.
And not only that, I'm sorry, but when you make a post, like if you're a mom or whatever you are, like an aunt, whatever, and you make a post, you're like, this is incredible. Like, I had a really crazy mom experience today. And you're in a sports brawl, no one gives a shit. They're just looking at your tits.
It's not about what you're saying.
Sorry. I'd give a fuck about your kids.
Like, it's because you're an attractive woman. That is the reason why.
It's the same thing if a dad posted. He was like, I had a cool dad moment today. If it was like a normal guy, like unless it was another dad to dad, you're like, cool, bro. But if it's like a dude with a shirt off that looks really great, she's like, can you believe that's dad? Like, no, he could not have a head and you wouldn't fucking know.
Right.
So, yeah, like, come on. If I posted that, I'd get a fucking share.
Right. Let's be real. Exactly. You probably should. Actually, why haven't you done that?
I don't. It started fucking making me mad. Like, the shit people share irritates the piss out of me. Because, like, there'll be times when I'm like, and especially, like, fitness journeys piss me off.
Yeah.
I cannot help it. Because, like, I'm like, if you've been in shape the majority of your adult life, nobody gives a fuck.
No.
But the minute you let yourself go, and then you like go on like a online program, they're like, "Oh my god, you're really motivated. You're incredible." I'm like, this is seasonal.
Right. That's the reason why I'm back in the gym. Which, according to your dad, I've gone one day, which is correct. So I'm not back in the gym. Fuck him. I'm just kidding. it's accurate because that's why because I'm not telling people. That I'm
I was genuinely excited.
I know because you were actually excited.
I was excited. I'm like, this is fucking great. Right, I think everybody should go. It's fun,
and I agree too. And
it's a great.
It's not like I haven't been here before. I've been.
No,
here before.
you have. I've seen it,
but I don't want to. I don't want to like announce it because I'm just not generally that type of person, and also because if I backslide, I don't want to make a big whole thing.
Yeah, but if you backslide,
I'm going on this journey,
people will share it.
Right, that's my thing, and I don't want to share it. Yeah, because if I share all this stuff and I like actually like get in really good shape and then it backslides because I've already done that once before, and then be like, "What the fuck happened to him? He was doing so well. Now he's a fat piece of shit." I just don't want that.
They all remember.
I don't want that image out
there. Like, yeah,
exactly.
That's why I don't. That's why I have never posted workout videos. I've never posted anything. Not even when I put on weight. I don't post anything about fitness stuff because nobody gives a fuck what I'm doing.
No,
I just like I said, and now. The other side of that coin is...
If you were helping people, you should probably...
The other side of the coin of that would be if you're doing it to keep yourself in check and you need that extra push or people to like help motivate you along to give you that boost. Okay, that I can finesse
post,
that.
Maybe we should post. Maybe you should post stuff to where you're like motivating me, and I'll post me being a fat slob and getting in shape, and we could do like a tandem kind of post thing here.
I can tell you, I don't understand why any man would not go to the gym, and the reason I say
it sucks.
And the reason I say that is because or do anything to make yourself stronger, more capable, because to me, that's part of being, and this is going to sound super emasculated. That's part of being a man.
Yeah,
is to. I'm not talking about like The Rock. I'm not talking about like going in there and just like bro. I'm talking in general. Be able to defend yourself if you had to, or just be manlier. Like be.
Well, you don't have
a man. Like I don't know. It's
I would
part
say
of.
You don't have to go to the gym to have that. Number one. You don't have to go to the gym. Now, some people are fucking scrawny as fuck, and so yeah, they do need to go to the gym if that was the goal, is to be strong enough to be able to defend
I don't
yourself.
want to be in a state to where.
My thing is, here's the thing about that, because I've heard you make this argument before.
Yeah, it makes me.
I have a gun. I'm going to use that. I'm not going to risk getting in a fight. With somebody.
I know that. I just meant like I don't want to be able to not do things. Like I've had people come to the gym with me, or I've seen it. Or seen them do other tasks in life,
right? That
they're either weak or can't do it, or get sore or tired from minimal tasks because they don't do anything. As a man, that irks the fuck out of me. Like, why are you not doing anything?
Yeah, well, I mean, the simple answer is I understand getting in shape. You should do some activity in order to do so, but the going to the gym aspect, where you're like going to get into shape, right? If you're going to doing some sort of activity to be stronger, then it doesn't necessarily, what you look like doesn't matter, right? The goal is to be able to have endurance and strength and all that kind of stuff. What you look like doesn't matter if that's the goal, right? But what you look like, if you're trying to like cut down or whatever, that trying to get healthy, that I can understand. But the reason why people don't go to the gym is because here's the lie, here's where people need to be honest. It fucking sucks.
Yeah.
It sucks.
It sucks.
People need to start just saying
I don't
that.
like always going.
But
sucks.
The thing is, like, it sucks. But this is the benefits that you get out of it. Focus on that. Stop focusing on like the I see people doing that where you kind of did it a little bit where you're like, I don't understand why you don't just go to the gym. The reason why is because it sucks.
I know it sucks. I used to sell memberships. I know it sucks.
Like I'm going in there and doing the leg press sucks.
People don't know what they're.
It hurts.
You don't know what you're doing. You know, not everybody, but it's intimidating because you don't really know everything about it. You feel like you have to be a fucking expert to go in there. Like, I mean, there's all kinds of stuff.
It's painful.
It's uncomfortable. People don't like being uncomfortable.
It's not just the uncomfortability of like the atmosphere. I'm talking about if you were working out by yourself. If you're working out by yourself in your house, pain is gain, right? It's painful. It sucks.
That's what I meant when I said uncomfortable.
Right,
I don't mean environment. I meant you're putting your body under stress. You're making yourself uncomfortable.
Doing 100 squats is painful.
It's
going
all
to cause you pain.
Yeah.
But then the benefits that you get out of it are better. So I understand like why people don't go to the gym is because of that reason. Because if you take away all the other stuff, which you can, because you can work out anywhere, right? That's the reason why people don't work out, is because it's pain. And people are generally avoiding pain at all costs. In general, they do not have most people just don't have that capacity to endure a small amount of pain for a long-term benefit.
I think truthfully
that's the reason why.
So the sister of what you just said is, I think people just don't give a shit. They just don't give a shit.
I think they do give a shit because they're depressed about it, about their weight. They're on Instagram. They see these people that look better than them and they're in better shape, and they don't get off their asses to do something about it. And so I think people do care about it, but they do not want to do they're lazy. They don't want to do what it takes.
So they don't, by not giving a shit, they're like, well, I mean, it's been this long, so.
You got some people that just gave up. Yeah,
like,
sure. Yeah.
Cool, man. Like, hey, be comfortable. I don't mean whatever. And now everything is so like. I'm not gonna get. I might save this for an episode, but like everybody's so like the body positivity. Like basically, I'm like, okay, you just gave up. So you're like, okay, well, if I love the skin I'm in, I don't have to do shit anymore. Like, okay, cool.
Yeah, well, that's those are the people that.
I'd rather you just tell me like I don't fucking want to do anything.
Right.
Okay, cool.
Well, those are the people that are like, instead of changing themselves, they're trying to change society to fit them, and it's like that's not how this shit works.
No, sorry, you're fucking gross. Like I don't know what to tell you.
Right. But as someone who's been in really good shape like 3 times in my life, and then been in really bad shape also 3 times in my life, I've seen all sides of it.
Yeah,
I've been involved in all sides of it.
You're like I am. Right? Yeah.
And that's the reason why. Like, it's the reason why I haven't been in the gym as long as I have been, is because it fucking sucks. Just the people that are like avid workouters and they're trying to motivate people to work out, admit that. Stop trying to sugarcoat the gym experience.
It fucking sucks.
You may get there at some point to where you love, and I've been there. I've been there when you're working out and you're really good shape and you feel good, and now you get excited when you go to the gym and you're like, I'm jonesing. I'm like, I need to be. I'd rather be in the gym right now instead of what I'm doing. I've been there. I get that, but that's not how it starts out. That is not how it starts out. And you need to be honest with people. But listen,
I tell them straight up, it's going to blow.
This sucks. It's going to hurt. You're going to be in pain. You're going to want to quit. But the benefits, man.
This is the same people that I chalk up when I see if I haven't seen somebody in a long time, or I see some, whoever I don't know, they're like, those are cool tattoos. I'm like, thanks. Like, those hurt. Yes, it fucking hurts. Are you serious? Don't ask me that. Does it hurt? Yes, it fucking hurts.
They're literally needling ink into my skin. It hurts.
They all hurt. For all you fucking people that are like, I fall asleep during mine. Well, great. You're a freak. That's fine. I don't care. Good for you. Like, they hurt. Yes. Quit asking that. Yeah. It fucking sucks.
Right. I guess maybe what they're asking is like, how much did it hurt? But they don't say that. It's like it all sucks.
And don't get me wrong. Like, I like mine too because it's a great conversation piece.
Yeah.
Are all these because they're like family heirloom? No. Fuck no. Like, it's just, I love the way it makes the film looks, but like, I get the weirdest fucking questions, which some of them are great. Other times I'm just like,
well, I've known you for like 15 years, and that the one on your right, I guess your left arm, my right, is I never actually like spent any time.
There's a lot of shit happening on that
looking
arm.
at it, see like what the fuck's going on here. Not until like a few weeks ago when I asked you about it. I think on the podcast, I was like, yeah, what's going on here?
There's a lot of shit on that arm.
It was just a mural of shit.
There's shit everywhere on that arm. There's all kinds of stuff. I never actually
like, oh yeah, I see
there's all kinds of stuff. There's I just whatever. The fitness thing irks me.
We'll talk about that another time.
But it really gets my panties bunched up.
Yeah,
fucking makes me mad, dude.
I can tell.
I can't help it.
Yeah, well, I guess that will be a continuing theme in the podcast going forward. Is my fitness journey.
I meant to end the show 10 minutes ago, and I fucking got going. So
I'm sorry, I pushed it.
That's okay. That's all right. So like, subscribe, share. Thank you for listening to the episodes. This was 24. Still super right. Is this episode 24?
24, yeah.
Yeah, super. We're really excited to keep doing it. I love doing it. Zach loves doing it, but. Yeah, if you guys don't mind, and you're hearing this, and I know you will come Monday morning, try something new this week and fucking share it. Just share it.
Maybe.
Just if I can get just a few of you to share it, and it can be. I'll tell you what. I'll even make a post that says share this, and I'll write on there share this.
An easy
one, and send it to you, and I know you'll fucking see it. Just share it. Share this. I'll tell you what. If I get enough of you to share stuff, we'll do a fucking giveaway, and we'll do a gift card to a fucking restaurant. For real, I will do some sort of giveaway. Okay. I actually just got a new sponsorship.
There you go. Heard it first. We're going to do a giveaway.
But it's optics. But I also do. I have a new. So it's Havoc Racing. Shout out is my newest sponsor for myself that I just got. I'm really excited about it.
We'll have to. We're going to do a giveaway. We'll have to work out the details. Of that.
Yeah. I'm just saying, I could give. They do sunglasses, goggles. Like, we could really do something with that. Okay. But anyways, regardless, if that's what it takes, that's what I'll do. But we want this to accelerate. We want the listens. It's a good show.
Because we want to keep doing it.
I want to keep doing it. So, and I'm not saying we're trying to retire doing it, as far as the full-time job. I mean, that'd be, of course, be dope. But, yeah, we'd like it to see what it's capable of. So, and we will I'll be
up front. I want to quit my job.
I know you do. I'm right there with you. So in order to accelerate it, that's what we need to do. So if you guys can help us out, and you're already doing that by listening and telling us, we have close friends, people that say this is cool, this is not really working, whatever. Crunk's one of our biggest, advisors, really. So critics, yeah. So yeah, like I said, just the little things. Just do your part. Do your part. I'm done.
Also, we appreciate all of you.
All of you listening.
Thank you.
All right,
we're grateful. Bye.
Bye.